Okay, so welcome back for our last video for COMP3218. That's Game Design Development at the University of Southampton. My name's Dave Millard and I'm here with...
Adrian Chapman,
Tom Brown,
and Max.
So in this video we're going to look at our final few games, but before we do, Tom, do you want to say a little bit about what the students were asked to do?
Yeah, absolutely. So for this coursework we asked the students to produce a small game prototype that had a strong core dynamic and a means of tutorializing that mechanic to the player, the dynamic. There we go.
Brilliant. Okay.
Got those words out.
All right, well let's have a look. So our first game, we asked for a WebGL build, but it wasn't forthcoming.
But we did get one.
So we're going to look at it in the Unity... Aha!
Yeah. So this is ECS Legend.
Okay.
That's quite a nice, like, title sequence intro. Though we are now staring at a black screen for a little while.
Yeah.
Click to continue. Oh,
No, there you go. It's a bit slow.
It's building tension, that's what it's doing.
I guess the Star Wars one actually fades out for a lot longer.
I'm just impressed they got Disney's permission to use the sound. That's dedication.
They're quite protective around Star Wars.
You'd think. Okay. Okay, so here we go. So what do we have to do?
Oh, we don't.
And it's mage. I don't know why.
Don't worry, Ernest, just keep walking. The village is not far from here. Southampton is a beautiful town.
Yeah, they've not explored.
The text sort of scrolls past quite quickly as well. So if they're trying to sort of give context to the world and what's going on, it'd be nice to sort of, have a sort of click to continue kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sort of let the player.
Actually, I didn't realise it was auto-scrolling.
Yeah,
also, I know text is a pain in Unity, but the overlapping of the health bars is a problem.
So this is interesting. The terrain is different from when we last loaded this.
Yeah, there was a
Yes,
bush
that's
over
right.
the characters.
They were bushes.
Which is interesting. So it means they've got some sort of
procedural generation of where things go.
So, okay, so we can operate 4 characters.
Knight, Berserker, Archer, and Master.
So I think this is
They're
the
introduced when you operate into attack. And every turn you can act, and then your enemies go.
Sorry, I skipped past that.
So it has changed so the text is missing off the screen.
Yeah.
But you can just read it.
So move, attack, and rest. So if we click move, we get a highlighted thing, which is quite nice.
Okay, yeah, I like that. That's good.
But it said move and then attack, but it looks like we're not going to be able to attack anything. So it feels very XCOM-y.
Yes.
In the sense that it's sort of a sort of strategic turn-based turn-based game. But XCOM sort of very, very sort of handhold you through the first level, which is go to this point here, attack this dude here. Whereas so I could quite easily move backwards.
You've almost got too many options.
Yeah.
Also, it says every character can move 2 grids per turn, but that looks to me like you can move 3.
Yeah.
So, in addition to that, reading the course notes for this, it looks like there are specializations of attack. So, let me read this. Much like rock, paper, scissors, the master can ignore the knight's shield when the master is attacking a knight. A knight can do more harm to an archer, and an archer can prevent a master of attacking.
But we're against zombies.
Well, I don't. Yes, exactly. Nor have we yet seen any way that this has been explained to us.
Yes.
But these are. So are you saying I can attack my own guys?
I don't think you should.
I'm going to try it.
Maybe these are art, but maybe these. Oh, they are definitely.
Oh no, that just selects my other dude. So okay,
your Berserker's attack range is small.
Attack. Okay, but now I'm
far away.
So you need to rest.
Also as a tutorial, it feels really brittle.
Yeah.
It feels like it's requiring you to do certain things, but the actual game itself is allowing you to do lots of different options.
So it feels like there was absolutely no way I could have attacked anything on my first turn.
No.
Enemy's turn. So then my mage just disappeared.
Yeah.
When master's attacking, it can attack other enemies. Something. When master's attack an enemy, it can attack other enemies. Or attack an enemy which is on its attack.
It's a lot of attacking. Yeah.
So it's now our target.
I'm really not quite sure what happened there.
So our mage has vanished.
Yeah.
Maybe he's turned invisible. I think we found another bug state. We don't seem to be able to progress past this bit either.
Okay. Should we try and just restart it?
You sure? Okay.
I know we've got to have some scrolly text, which we liked, but was
Long.
It feels
quite
like
long.
Let's
The first run it was.
skip. No, I'm just haplessly pressing buttons to see if there's anything we can do to skip it. But no.
But in fairness, it isn't designed as a game where you die a lot and then have to restart. So having a quick turnaround time shouldn't be a thing. But
That said, one of the key things we said when talking about tutorials and lectures is let experienced players skip your tutorial.
yes,
And there's no way of skipping this.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's not a tutorial one.
Well, I mean, so even the tutorial bit of
Yeah.
the main game, there's no way of going through that. I am a little bit worried we're going to get copyright strikes from YouTube for this. This
Yeah.
one,
I wanted to mute the audio.
which also mutes us.
I guess you could upload it again if it gets taken down.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. Okay, so scrolly text. And then let's see if I can get somebody into position where they can attack.
Right.
So move you. So I definitely can't get you there. Have the positions of the enemies changed, or is it just like the trees and stuff?
No, I think just the trees have
yeah.
changed.
So I don't know if the trees actually have an impact, because it looks like
No.
these ones have been used for a wall.
Yeah, I'm guessing you can't move through them, but you can't tell at the moment, can you?
Mm.
You also got to rest him now, haven't you? So there seems to be a problem where you can't see the state.
Ooh, get
Of
him
the
over there,
characters.
yeah.
There we go.
No.
Attack.
Hey.
Okay, so his health has now gone down,
But there's
No.
nothing.
and now I still have to rest you.
Yes, you do.
But there's nothing to tell you that that's happened. Right? There's no attack animation. There's no attack sound. There's no effects. There's nothing. Which is a shame.
There's no way to go save them.
If you go up, because did they have a ranged attack?
It might have been, but he might be in the way now. Let's.
So what's interesting is that we've
Nice.
we've kind of started ignoring that tutorial because it's so brittle.
Well, and
Yes.
partly because it's running off the, so it's quite difficult to make sense of because it's off the side of the
Yeah.
screen. But you're right.
So these archers presumably got quite a long attack range.
But there's no real way to get into position for it again, because I could only move 2 squares,
Yeah.
which means
You're never near
the archer's useless. So they're all moving. Okay, so they moved. They didn't.
moved, but weirdly they didn't.
Oh no,
Didn't.
no, he did because
Oh, he did.
I'm on half hit points now.
Oh
right.
yeah, you're right.
Oh,
yeah.
which is why our mage disappeared last time, because he was
He
dead,
was only.
He got
even though
killed.
his health was
Yeah.
still floating above him. So that's, and yeah, we're back in the same state where I can't click on anyone.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a shame. So I mean, in terms of the quality, obviously,
It feels like they spent a long time on things that weren't really necessary. So I like the fact that they have, like, yeah, they've got what could be a good game.
again, it's the foundation, isn't it? But
Yeah.
the problem here really is the bugs.
Mhm.
And
Why did they
not
focus
through.
so on the Star Wars core
Yeah,
when this isn't?
like they've actually wrote
Yeah.
a lot of text, and that was not necessary to
Yeah.
this game at all.
So, I mean, we talk a lot about kind of having a minimum viable product and about iterative development. So, you know, getting something where there is an enemy on the screen and a character on the screen, and you have a turn-based system,
That's it, and they can
Combat.
take it in turns to hit each other with a stick.
and then build from there, and then introduce new characters, and then introduce multiple enemies, and try and make the enemy AI more sophisticated, and all the rest of it. It feels like they've just tried to bite off too much.
Yeah.
Just not been able to deliver it. And in some ways, it's a shame. The look and feel of this is quite nice, actually. It works quite well. It doesn't fit the Star Wars bit at the beginning.
It does not.
That's really odd. Why you go from a kind of space fantasy theme that you don't own to a sort of a pixel art fantasy setting that you do is strange. And you've got that music, which is very, very in your face, and then there's no sound effects at all, not even to give you any kind of useful feedback, so that's a shame.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the tutorial, they've tried to give you quite an advanced tutorial.
But the problem is they don't. They need to lead you through it a little bit more explicitly. These say,
There's too many options.
I said, this is where your knight could move to this square, and only let me move to that square, and then sort of say, there's always going to be an enemy here.
Yeah.
Now attack them.
So I think the real problem is there's a tension between what the text is telling you to do and what the game is allowing you to do.
Yeah.
So what we did in the end was we ignored that and we just started exploring. And then it'd been better, I think, actually saying, well, let it be exploratory then and give some feedback. Or, as you said, make it linear but really restrict what we're doing. And their core dynamic was?
I think it's a strategy.
Strategy.
Yeah. Which isn't really... It's so the list we've talked about in lectures before isn't necessarily set in stone, but I feel that strategy is too high level for a dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are the other ones we've got? So we've got a cheat sheet to hand. So I'd say so we've got things like what's like spatial reasoning and sort of territorial acquisition. It feels like there's some elements of each. Just like obviously destruction as well because we're destroying enemies.
Yeah, I mean,
this one.
I can see where they're going for, but
the problem is that the game isn't at this. From what we've seen, it's not
Yes.
rounded out enough that we can make
No.
a reasonable judgment. There's a lot of elements that it could be leading towards, and depending on how the rest of the game develops, it could really strengthen some of those. So I'm not arguing that it's a strategy game. I'm just saying that I don't think that's the core dynamic.
no. But it feels of all the ones we've discussed, it feels like destruction is the most obvious one. It's all about destruction. The fact that it's a turn-based destruction game and not a kind of a rapid reaction type shouldn't matter, right?
I mean, so I'd say it almost feels more spatial reasoning because you've got those sort of patterns of movement and you have to get your people into the right spaces
in order to make
in
your
order to-
attacks happen.
But again, we've not seen which of those that it was developed along. If it was a case of you
right.
unlock more attacks that are more interesting to use and like grenade items that sort of do.
So your argument is because each of the different types of characters has a different pattern of attack, and you have to combine them.
Yeah. It's a little bit like
yeah. I can kind of buy that. So so I think another example of perhaps something where the foundation is there, and it's clearly they run out of time. But in this case, the reason is they just try to be too ambitious with what they're doing. And it looks like they spent a bit of time on stuff that was not actually that important. Okay, I think we should finish up. Okay, so here we go.
Okay, an as yet unnamed game, but we must reach the teleport.
To the next level before the time runs out. Each level will be increasingly difficult and you'll have less time.
Enter the
until
teleport.
to begin.
How do I enter the teleport, Dave?
Just think very hard about it.
Yeah.
Try arrow keys, I guess.
Yeah, so arrow keys are usually a good bet. But
So we did sort of briefly discuss this earlier on about you can sometimes get away with missing out the kind of controls, but just
Two. Dun, dun, dun.
So it said before the time runs out.
Yeah.
Oh no,
the
there's
top left
little
corner.
timer.
that tiny little timer at the top.
But not only is it tiny, but it also is precise to 6 decimal places.
Game over.
Game over.
I'm not sure how useful that is.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got 21 seconds.
With 21 seconds to go.
It's also not so. I mean, where did I start? I started like
Over there
here, right?
somewhere.
Yeah,
That-
and not
this is not
actually-
what I would call a particularly tricky level.
Well, it will be if you don't get to the end. But you're right, why did you start in the bottom left?
I'm just going to. I want to see what happens when the timer does run out.
Game
Yes.
over.
Straight to the game over screen. But so it's nice that the sort of menus interact with the same
actually
set of
that's
controls.
true.
I do like
yeah,
that.
Yeah, that is quite nice, isn't it?
But then yeah,
Okay.
you just go up here.
Go around the corner.
It might get more complicated.
So let's just go for it then.
That's
So,
2,
you've got a choice of 2, but it's not clear why.
and they,
And they
Does this-
loop you back. This is the same board you.
yeah.
had
Does
them
this
on.
just put us
Oh,
back to
okay.
the
So
first?
there's a couple levels.
So they're trying to get you to learn
So
the
maybe-
route through.
I have to go to this one.
No, that was
Yeah.
a game over.
Why is that
Why
a
is
game
that
over?
game over?
Does that mean I won the level and yeah?
I think this might be.
I think it's a 2-level game. But
I think that's what they've got. So you. I'm not sure why is there a game over in the top left-hand screen? That's very odd.
Well, particularly it's like the first level is here is the goal, get to this goal,
Yeah.
and then if I go to that, it's either game over. That's it. I honestly can't tell which of these is supposed to be right. I don't know whether it's the one in the top left that gives me the game over is the one I'm supposed to go to, and that's the end of the game,
Yeah.
and the one on the right's the sort of
Yeah.
the decoy, or whether that ends this level and just starts the next one.
Yeah. So okay, I mean, so it's not an awful lot. It's a very simple system. Is it a game?
Does it have a concept of meaningful play?
Well, you've got to navigate around and get to the end.
I think it is just barely.
Just barely, yeah.
But you've got the timer, so you do have to.
That's true.
You do have to race to the end. But
I mean, the graphics are very simple, but they're effective and they're consistent. And
the level design feels mostly pointless.
The level design is very strange.
There's no real sort of I don't know. Is it meaningful play? You've got a limited time to get there, but there is no challenge in getting there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's true. Like I said, the presentation is perfectly reasonable, I think, but there's no sound.
That timer, absolutely. If the whole focus of your game is getting to the end before the timer runs
so
out,
much more you can do.
that timer needs to be like huge,
much bigger, and needs to happen much more. You're right. There's no kind of meaningful choice. There's no reason to go for one way or the other.
So there's a longer route and a shorter route, but why would you ever take the longer route?
Yeah.
It's not like it's sort of a maze, that you get on the back of cereal packets where you're trying to sort of figure out the actual route. It's very, very obvious what the route is.
Yeah. So what about the tutorial bit? I can't even remember what we had at the game.
It said get to the teleporter to win before the time runs out.
It didn't give you any instructions.
Didn't tell you any controls.
So
it also didn't indicate really what the teleporter was. So there was a signpost, but that's a signpost, not a teleporter.
So even if we accepted that it would be okay not necessarily to give you the arrows, although why would you not?
Yeah.
But they're not doing anything else. They're not teaching about how the teleporters work. They're not.
I think the teleporter is just the end of the level.
But okay. You have less time for the teleporter to begin. But again, see what you want to do.
Yeah, you're not bounded in the sort of tutorial. So it is nice that you're given like a tutorial space to sort of move to figure out the movement controls before they introduce a timer.
So you've got the movement here, but there's no timer. There's no.
Can I get lost off the screen?
I bet you can.
But then they could have. But again, there's that each level will be increasingly difficult. Why tell you? Why not just show you? If the timer's there, why not make a big thing of it at the beginning of the level? You have 10 seconds, right? And off you go. Next level, you have 9 seconds, or have something that leads you through it. It seems a shame to put it all up front.
It almost feels like they realised they didn't have enough to tutorial, so they added that.
Yeah. Okay, and what do they say the core dynamic is?
The core dynamic is spatial reasoning for the swim, according to their notes.
I can sort of see why they've said that, but I disagree.
It's got a timer, so
it's
surely
race to the end.
We're racing against the clock to get to the end, especially since the actual levels themselves are so simple, and there is no real challenge in navigating or puzzle to them. Again, this is another one where I feel that they've got a foundation where they could have built
something they could, if they develop sort of more levels and maybe a couple of interesting mechanics of how to get through that level.
But all you need is one or two mechanics that can then interact, so you effectively get a third combination, and then a level to introduce each one of those things, and you'd be there. But as it is, it's just too bare bones.
Absolutely,
Okay, I think we should move on.
Right, that's our last video. So we look forward to showing you some other students' work in future videos. But for now, thank you for watching.